Have you ever wondered about the concept of hell and what it represents? This question has intrigued and perplexed humanity for centuries, sparking a myriad of interpretations across cultures and religions. Hell is often depicted as a place of eternal torment, a realm of unending suffering reserved for the wicked. This image, however, is not universal. In some interpretations, hell is a purgatory, a temporary abode for souls to atone for their misdeeds. In others, it's a realm of utter desolation, devoid of any divine presence. Despite these differences, one common thread weaves through these interpretations: the fear of ending up in hell. This fear, deeply ingrained in the human psyche, has shaped moral codes and ethical norms throughout history. But what actions or behaviors might lead one to this dreaded destination? Today we will explore 10 reasons why, according to various beliefs, one might end up in hell forever. The first reason often cited is unforgiven sins. Now, what does this mean? Well, in many religious beliefs, sins are deeds or actions that go against the moral codes or laws set by a divine entity. These could be anything from lying and stealing to more severe acts such as murder and betrayal. The belief holds that these sins, if not acknowledged, repented for, and forgiven, can lead to eternal damnation, or what is commonly known as hell. The key here is the process of forgiveness. Many religions teach that divine forgiveness is available for those who genuinely seek it, showcasing remorse and a commitment to change. However, if these sins remain unconfessed, unrepented, and hence unforgiven, they become a spiritual burden. They weigh on the soul, and according to some beliefs, may even prevent it from reaching a state of eternal peace or heaven. Unforgiven sins, then, are one possible reason for ending up in hell. The second reason mentioned is disbelief in God. Now, we tread into the realm of faith and belief, a deeply personal and subjective domain. In many monotheistic religions, the disbelief in God or a higher power is perceived as a serious transgression. It's seen as a rejection of the divine, a dismissal of the sacred, and an affront to the spiritual order. Now, it's important to note that this isn't universal. There are countless belief systems in our diverse world, each with its own unique perspectives on divinity and faith. Yet, in the context of certain religions, disbelief is viewed with severity. The reasoning behind this varies, but a common thread is the belief in a divine plan, a cosmic order, and by denying the existence of God, one is seen as rejecting this order. Disbelief in God, according to some, is another reason one might end up in hell. The third reason often mentioned is betrayal. Now, let's delve into this concept. Betrayal, in its many forms, is considered one of the gravest sins in various moral and ethical systems. It's the act of breaking or failing to keep faith and trust, often to the detriment of others. Imagine betraying a friend's trust or a loved one's faith in you. This isn't just about breaking promises or revealing secrets, it's about causing deep emotional pain and damage. The ripple effects of betrayal can extend far beyond the immediate individuals involved, impacting families, communities, and even generations. Betrayal is seen as a severe violation of the fundamental human capacity for trust and loyalty. It's an act that can lead to permanent damage and broken relationships. It's no wonder that many believe such a grave act could lead to eternal damnation. Betrayal, then, is another possible reason for ending up in hell. The fourth reason often cited is greed. This is not merely a desire for wealth or possessions, but an insatiable thirst that can never be quenched. It's the unchecked craving that drives us to hoard more than we need, often at the expense of others. It's the hunger that blinds us to the needs of our fellow human beings. In many ethical and moral systems, greed is seen as a destructive force. It corrupts the soul, turning us into slaves of our own desires. It distracts us from the true riches of life, love, compassion, and spiritual growth. Greed is not just about money or material wealth. It can also manifest as an excessive desire for power, fame, or recognition. Regardless of the form it takes, greed consumes us from within, leaving us spiritually empty. In the end, it's not the wealth we accumulate, but the hearts we touch that truly matter. Greed, then, could be another reason for ending up in hell. The fifth reason often mentioned is murder. Now, the gravity of taking another's life is universally acknowledged across different cultures and legal systems. It's seen as one of the most egregious acts a person can commit. In many religious texts and traditions, murder is considered a cardinal sin, a violation of the sacredness of life itself. It's not just about the physical act of ending a life prematurely. It's also about the profound disruption it causes in the fabric of society, the pain and suffering it inflicts on others. This belief is not limited to any particular religion or belief system. From the 10 Commandments in the Bible to the teachings of Buddha, the prohibition against murder is nearly universal. It's a testament to our shared belief in the inherent value and dignity of every life. So it's no wonder that murder is often associated with eternal damnation. Murder, then, is another possible reason for ending up in hell. The sixth reason often cited is blasphemy. Now let's delve into what blasphemy is. In essence, it is the act of speaking sacrilegiously about God or sacred things. This isn't limited to just words, but also includes actions and thoughts that disrespect or mock the divine. And why is blasphemy considered so grave? Well, it's because it directly confronts the sanctity and majesty of the divine. It's seen as a deliberate act of defiance and disrespect towards the divine, which is considered a severe offense in many religious doctrines around the globe. In fact, in some belief systems, blasphemy is viewed as an unforgivable sin, one that leads to eternal damnation. This is because it's seen as a direct rejection of God's grace and mercy. It's not simply a misstep or an error, but a conscious choice to dishonor the divine. Blasphemy, then, could be another reason for ending up in hell. The seventh reason often mentioned is idolatry. It is a term that originates from the Greek language, denoting the worship of an eidolon or image. In a religious context, idolatry refers to the veneration, love, or excessive admiration of idols. This belief is common in many religions, where the worship of any deity other than the one true God is considered idolatry. Idolatry isn't limited to the worship of graven images or false gods. It can extend to anything we place above God in our lives. This could be money, power, fame, or even our personal relationships. When we give anything more importance than we give to God, we are essentially practicing a form of idolatry. This idolatrous behavior is seen by many as a path to eternal damnation. The reason being that it breaks the sacred bond between us and our Creator, leading us away from the path of righteousness. Idolatry, then, could be another reason for ending up in hell. The eighth reason often cited is dishonoring one's parents. Now you might wonder, what does this mean? This belief, deeply rooted in many moral and ethical systems, posits that actions of disobedience, disrespect, or even neglect towards one's parents are considered deeply sinful. Why, you ask? Well, traditionally, parents are seen as the givers of life, the first teachers, the primary caregivers. They are often equated with godliness, and their role is considered sacred. Disrespecting or dishonoring them is seen as a direct affront to these sacred roles they play. In some beliefs, it's not just about obedience or respect. Even neglecting one's responsibilities towards aging parents, failing to care for them, or giving them due respect and love is seen as dishonoring. This in itself is considered a grave sin, one that can lead to eternal damnation. Dishonoring one's parents, then, could be another reason for ending up in hell. The ninth reason often mentioned is bearing false witness. This is a concept deeply rooted in legal and moral systems, and it's not hard to see why. Lying, particularly when it can affect another's life, is seen as a grave transgression. It's the deliberate act of distorting the truth, a deception that can cause significant harm to others. In some religious perspectives, this act is viewed with even more severity when it occurs within a legal context. The courtroom, a place where justice should ideally be served, becomes a stage for deception. When someone bears false witness, it's not just a lie, it's a lie that can change the course of someone else's life. This belief is prevalent in many cultures, religions, and legal systems, marking false witness as a serious sin or crime. It's a violation of trust, a breach of the most fundamental social contract. Bearing false witness, then, could be another reason for ending up in hell. The 10th and final reason often mentioned is a lack of love and charity. It's a concept that permeates many moral and ethical systems, transcending religious and cultural barriers. It's believed that the absence of love and charity, be it towards oneself or others, could potentially pave the way to eternal damnation. This isn't about grand gestures of benevolence or heroic acts of self-sacrifice. Rather, it's about the small, everyday acts of kindness and understanding. It's about showing empathy towards your fellow human beings, putting others before yourself, and extending a helping hand to those in need. When we neglect love and charity, we're not just hurting others, but ourselves too. This principle is not about fear of punishment, but rather an invitation to live more meaningful, fulfilling lives. Lives that are centered around love, compassion, and generosity. A lack of love and charity, then, could be the final reason for ending up in hell. To summarize, the 10 reasons often cited for why one might end up in hell are unforgiven sins, disbelief in God, betrayal, greed, murder, blasphemy, idolatry, dishonoring parents, bearing false witness, and lack of love and charity. These are not just random acts, but rather, they reflect a deeper aspect of human behavior and morality. Unforgiven sins and disbelief in God touch upon the spiritual and religious aspects of our lives. Betrayal, greed, and murder are more about our relationships with others and how we treat them. Blasphemy and idolatry delve into our reverence for the divine. Dishonoring parents, bearing false witness, and lack of love and charity are about our responsibility towards our fellow human beings and our community. While these reasons vary across cultures and beliefs, they provide a fascinating glimpse into the human fear of eternal damnation and the moral and ethical systems that have been developed to prevent it.